You are listening to the Backline podcast.
This is the Backline podcast. I'm Trey.
This is Tristan.
We got a special guest with us today, Ryley Hartwig. What's up, Ryley?
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up? So we had a pretty intense round of some Wii Sports.
It was not Wii Sports. It was not Wii Sports.
It was Wii Deca Sports 2. I never knew there was such a thing.
Why did they make a second one is the real question.
I don't know, but my wife found it at a garage sale for like $8 and bought it because it was Wii Sports, and we all got together and we're like, this can be great, and it was awful. So
It was something, that's for sure.
now we're doing a podcast instead. I think this is our 4th episode. We got Ryley here, so let's kick it off. Ryley, you are a musician, actor. You do it all, man. Everything with the arts. What is your favorite band?
Favorite band?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Well,
Down to one.
It's super lame. It's most people's answer, I think. But it's the Beatles, of course.
Why?
Why? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Why? They are the only band when I was younger that actually made me think, shit, I've got to go out and actually learn how to play music because I need to be able to reproduce this at any given time, right? Nothing else ever gave me the gumption to say I should actually learn how to do this other than them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Was there any particular song you learned first that kind of took you into that? Or because I remember when you were playing guitar for the first time, or when you were kind of starting to pick that up in high school.
Yeah, the month before I graduated high school, I was going to treat myself as a graduation gift and got a Squier electric guitar, the cheapest one they had, right?
Yeah.
And what was the first song? I don't remember what the first song was, but it was a Beatles song for sure.
Yeah, no,
so
for sure.
yeah, my uncle's the one who taught me how to play, and he's even more into that than I am. Of course, he was, he's older than I am, so he was all around when that stuff was coming out. So that's kind of his bag. So we bonded over that, and then also that those songs are great to learn how to play an instrument on, because depending on the whole span from early to late, they have a great mixture of like super easy, just 3-chord rock and roll songs that you can just get right away, and then they have super complicated, piano parts and 3 or 4 overdubs. But of course, you can try and learn how to do it with just you or just 2 people.
No, absolutely. I mean, in tandem with that, I know we've played with you a couple of times. We've had you onto a couple of shows, and some of the songs you would bring into it, it was just like, I didn't realize how complicated these were until you actually go to try to play them. So
that being said, what's the favorite Beatles song you play with us? I think we only do a couple, but
we only do a couple. We do
Don't Let Me Down.
We do Don't Let Me Down. I like that one because it's like 3 chords.
It's awesome.
It's weird though. It's hard to play.
So that's another great thing about them so I know a lot of people who play guitar.
Nope.
And they're really good playing the notes, but they have no sense of time or rhythm, right? Which is also me to some extent.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing I struggle with.
But
they're great for that because they were doing all kinds of wacky stuff, including with wacky stuff with the time. So they would throw in a beat of 5/4, or they would take out a beat here and there, just out of nowhere. Sometimes it's only once in the whole song. It's just, let's just take out this beat for no reason.
Just somewhere in the structure, there's just one.
But they're so good at it that you don't even know that that's what's happening until you go to learn the song. I remember I forget what it was. It was like Revolution or some song by them by the Beatles. I came to you guys early on when I was learning, and I didn't understand why you weren't following along with what was going on. But it's because it had a random measure. The song's in 4/4, but it just had a random measure of 5/4, and I didn't even realize it because I was just playing what it sounded like, But you guys were learning it for the first time, and you're probably thinking,
dude,
what the hell is this guy doing?
I am a 4/4 musician. I'm just stupid.
Aren't
simple.
we all?
Yeah. Oh man. But I'll be straight up. So I love Don't Let Me Down. You brought that when we first were jamming together. But the one that we played at our last show, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. Dude, that's a rocker. That's
so good.
That one's fun.
That's what, 3 or 4 chords, same
Yeah,
thing.
it's the
But
same thing.
so they, that was fun because I got to play bass with you guys, and
Yeah.
they have kind of a fun.
It's like a funky bass.
There's like so usually there's like a real simple guitar part,
Yeah.
right? There's like one of those, and then there's usually it's George on the lead guitar. He doesn't really play much, but he adds just a few things here and there on the guitar. And then the bass just usually goes absolutely fucking nuts. And like the simpler the song is for everyone else, the harder they make the bass part. It
You
seems.
know, what I think the Beatles are a good representation of bass guitar is easy to play, but hard to master.
hard to do it right and get it to fit
Seriously,
right.
because you hear some of these bass players, like one I think of as well as Primus, but it's like when you hear somebody who's just crazy at bass, like that's fucking hard.
Yeah.
That is hard.
It sits in
But-
the mix. It's like a really well-mannered mastery.
Yeah.
Like once you learn how to play the bass, you kind of learn where it sits in the mix, and you learn where to be fancy and where not to. But I think the Beatles kind of in tandem with that kind of mastered that, because where it wasn't busy with the guitar, with the bass line, it's just fucking running,
that's-
and
you
it's
know-
just like we're not really sure.
Yeah.
And vice versa, when the guitar's going crazy,
Right.
the bass is
Simpler. It's
is
kind of holding on the fourth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so Ryley, you've played a handful of shows with us by now, like just kind of a couple of songs, and then we did a couple of live streams together.
Yep.
But our last show back in April that we played, that was 4 hours of you jamming with us. How was that experience? Because that's a long time. That's the first time we've done that with you, other than live streams, which usually last like an hour.
Right.
So what were your thoughts on the whole load in and load out? I mean, from load in to load out, how was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was terrifying, of course.
Well, that's crashing.
Of course. You're playing in front of a huge crowd like that. How could you not? No, you're right. It was kind of the first. I mean, I would join you for a couple songs here and there before, and I had joined other people for a song or two.
Yeah.
So I was used to that, but doing a whole thing start to finish, and what did we play? 20, 25 songs?
Yeah, it was upwards of That's
So it
25.
was just me the weeks before going, oh shit, I actually have to learn how to play all these start to finish.
Yeah.
So obviously it was just me hoping to God I could remember how all them went. But no, it was great.
Yeah. Well, I got out of there and looked at Tris. I'm like, Ryley nailed it. I go, I think I fucked up way more than he did.
Well, you
And
know,
you didn't fuck up at all, but I just remember me fucking up. And
that's what's good, because normally when I play, it's like it's usually for practice or for fun, or occasionally when we play out, it's usually just me and one other person.
Yeah.
Right. And so to have the drums and the guitar, and luckily I was playing bass, and so a lot of the songs, if you couldn't remember them, you luckily could just kind of turn your volume knob down a little bit.
Just kind of sit on the root notes a little bit.
And get away with that, right?
Yeah. But that is, I mean, that's musician.
It's a sense.
That's
it's
a sense,
yeah.
man,
It's
to be able to know to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's the same thing with guitar or drums at the same time too, right? Like if I really know a song, I'll know where to put a fill and kind of get it to
fair
sit the
enough.
right way. But it's the sense of having to know when to do that takes experience to get that done, and take it from there.
Yeah.
But no, that's good. I'm glad you had fun, because like I feel like it's always weird for people to join in with me and Trey, just because like we always know where we are in the song, right? Like no matter what, like it takes an eye contact. It takes a split second to kind of get that down. Not always as easy with a third person, because we just haven't jammed as much. So I'm glad that gig went well.
I mean, out of all the third members that we would add, I mean, even Josh, I mean, we got really good chemistry with him, but he's using his voice. He's not
Right. He's not doing an instrument where he's got to sit on top of.
Voice is an instrument, but he's not.
He's not like on top of
But
the
I
beat
think
the whole time.
Us three, when we have a set, I think we're pretty tight.
Yeah, it
I mean,
locks
that
up pretty
show
well.
was pretty tight.
Well, and I will say, to my discredit, that actually it's like the things on the very bottom of the track and the things on the very top are the things you notice the most of. So drums are usually at like the very foundation,
Right.
and the vocals and the guitar, and so everything else is kind of in the middle. Luckily for me, when I'm playing bass, it's like just a support. It's the columns holding up the roof, but the things people notice are the floor and the roof.
Right.
So somebody once told me, whether this is right or not, but the style of bass that I guess I listen to is you follow the guitar. And somebody told me a good bass, you will not know it's there. Because, you know, it's just gluing the drums and the guitar right together. And
So while we're talking about good bass, I got a bone to pick with both of you. Because I know we have very different tastes in bass, in how the actual bass line is written and the tone of the bass and everything. So let me just explain what my preferred bass sound is. Right?
Oh no, I already know what you're going to say.
You take that tone knob and you roll it all the way down. You roll it all the way back, so all the highs are thumpy, right?
Fuzzy.
And I know no one can see, but I'm looking at both of them right now, and I'm gonna tell them that I put a piece of foam underneath the strings to deaden them even more.
Oh, you like that?
Tristan about kicked me out at the show we did not too long ago, right then. So okay, I like that, and I like that because it adds to the kind of kick drum sound by just going boom, boom, boom. And there's no high end. And there's almost no mids. There's a little bit of mids, but I guess I'm going to throw back to you of why do you think a bass should occupy any more of the frequency than the bass frequencies?
I mean, it matters more in a recording than it does for live stuff. So I get the whole live thing where like you just kind of want to occupy your space and kind of add the richness to the whole song. I don't know. Sometimes I prefer a buzzy bass when they have like nice highs, like a rich high note or what am I trying to say? A bass rich in highs played well is really, really saucy for the mix, no matter what the situation is. Even if you get string buzz, it's really nice and saucy. Personal preference. But I get why you want to occupy the space that you do for bass, just because it makes the most sense for like being here. You know, you want to play with the band and you want to do what's like going on right now. So I get it. I just fucking hate it.
I guess my ideal bass tone is I like that thump, but I like a little more saturation, a little more.
That's why we use the fuzz pedal
a little bit. Yeah. Because honestly, you know, not talk about our tone, but when I split my bass cab, I do let it kind of sit for a little bit, but I have it. It's very punchy, but I turn. I'm not using the correct terms, but it's just punchy and it sits there for a second. It's not sloppy, but it's like you let it kind of.
It's just a little bit. It's muddy enough, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, because we got to be tight, but it's muddy.
You really need that mud, is what it comes down to.
I do.
Is like it can't be too tight, especially when you're splitting your signal. It can't be too tight, otherwise it just sounds like a DI guitar.
Right.
And it's like you don't want that, right? And then to your credit, with your bass tone, is it's kind of feeling the same thing. As you kind of want that like not punchy tone, just kind of where it sits and adds it's like an ambiance thud.
So
is what it comes down to. But
Ryley's tone, if I could describe it in one word, poppy. Like it's punchy. It's punchy.
No,
but the tone that I like.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's the exact opposite of what it is.
it's really mild, is what it is. It's not poppy at all.
It's
It's
very short.
it's short.
Sorry,
it's like the Motown sound.
Yeah.
You know?
But I don't mean poppy. I mean
it's not like aggressive poppy.
Yes.
Punctual.
Yeah,
And
it dies out.
That's what I meant.
It's very
that's what my poppy definition meant.
Yeah,
because I like a little, like I said,
some
mine's
resonance,
sauce.
Yeah,
it's like there's some sauce.
Well, I mean, like
there.
you can hear it in our recent live stream because I was reviewing it. You can kind of hear when you turn on that pedal, because with the big muff pedal, it just adds like this huge wave of just like sauce, right? That's not like a DI anymore. It's like a.
Speaking of live streaming, Ryley, we got to do that again because
we have a new setup down there.
Setup now. I mean, it's like we run it into Ableton and shit, and it just sounds phenomenal. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Okay, Ryley, one thing I want to ask you, and this is a curiosity question from me. How acting like you do on the big stage, like phenomenal. How do you prepare for that versus a show? Are you more nervous for one or the other? Like how do you prepare for that? Because every time I see you act, you seem so comfortable. Not that when you're playing shows you don't seem comfortable, but does it take more to?
It might just be how good of an actor you
Well,
are.
first off, I want to point out that I've only acted once in the last like 5 years.
Well, right, but he's referring to like high school too.
Yeah,
all that. But the last one I saw,
No,
was-
I find like I was in a musical recently, and I find that actually quite a bit easier to do because there's so many other people to rely on. I
For,
mean,
like cues and whatnot.
yeah, like I mean, well, for my role anyway. Like if you're the lead, obviously it's just you up there for a couple good long moments, which would be like the hardest parts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like what I was doing, I always had at least one other person to rely on stage, so I knew if I like totally dropped it, I didn't have to pick the whole thing up myself.
There
we
was
could
some
we could
level of-
both, we both had a shovel to
piece it together.
dig out of that hole.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
some level of comfort in that, I guess.
Yeah, and so I guess on like when I was playing with you guys, it was a similar thing, but obviously there's less. There's just
Yeah.
less people,
Okay,
so
right on.
the
Yeah.
more exposed your performance is, the scarier it is. Which actually can be quite a good thing for me anyway, because I tend to be lazy, and so if there's not the fear of really failing and really being noticed that you're failing, then I tend to be a little lazy. So it can actually help your performance quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
that.
I totally get that with the support thing and feeling like you're not on an island by yourself. And
Right.
yeah,
And likewise, I didn't start really trying to play music until I graduated high school. So I've been doing that less because I had done the acting thing all in high school as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. The last time I saw you at the musical, I'm like, man, he's good. He's so comfortable up there. I'd be freaking out. I can play in front of people, but I can't do.
Well, you are freaking out, of course. Yeah. I'm sure it's how you have a big show.
Yeah.
People don't see it, but you are.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have to get some more stuff set up with us three again.
Okay, I got a lightning round for us.
Uh-oh.
Since we were talking about it so much.
Yeah.
Lightning round. Favorite bass player.
My favorite bass player. Tris, you take this one first. I got a couple, but I'm just gonna try to narrow it down.
I mean, I could be like totally generic and say Flea.
He's badass.
He's really
dude.
good. I mean, I've been listening to his stuff a little bit more because
He's so
Chili
good.
Peppers. Yeah, he's a really good pocket bassist and he knows how to pick notes. But I really like, was it Cliff Burton from Metallica as well? Yeah,
The late great Cliff Burton.
his old lines were really good because they sat in the mix really well.
Well, he was a classical musician. He was
Yeah.
showing Kirk Hammett how to play guitar. I mean, that's
I'm trying to remember, there was another bassist that I really like, but I'm forgetting the name. It'd be a tie between those two, but if it came down to it, I think I'd take Cliff just because like I'm only now becoming more of a fan of Flea, so it'd be Cliff Burton from Metallica.
You like Flea's style,
Yeah,
not his playing style.
like how
How
crazy he
looks.
is. Yeah.
You like that kind of meth addict look.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the Florida, like just
That's what I'm into about him.
yeah,
he
absolutely.
doesn't
I
give
mean,
a fuck.
that's the bass player mentality right there. I mean, if you can adopt Flea's like meth head mentality, you can be a bass
You can
player.
do anything.
Yeah, honestly,
know-
I'd trust that man to fix my car if I needed to.
You know who I'm gonna say?
Who's that
So it was Mike Starr,
from?
Alice in Chains, till
Okay.
he died, and then it was Mike Inez. But the bass lines, I mean, Nutshell, obviously Wood.
Yeah,
That bass tone is saucy, man. That is the tone that I like.
it's
That-
good.
The one I would say second, and I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but Primus.
Oh yeah, I don't know his name
I
either.
know, it's on the tip
He
of
has
my
a really
tongue.
particular name too.
And the skill.
Yeah.
He's so skilled.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
Mr.
say
Primus, I think.
Yeah, Mr. Primus.
Do you think that he's like a good bassist without being a soloist like he is? Do you think like you could throw him on any song and he'd be able to do it without
No.
being crazy?
He definitely fits their style.
Yeah.
Because in their style, the guitar is pretty much just adding leads.
Yeah.
He's carrying the riff.
Right.
But don't you think that's any great, and then anything after that, great guitarist, great singer, great anything? Don't you think that's all of them? Is they fit so well in
Yeah.
In their own.
what they were doing?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
So
It's kind of specialized in their own role.
we got Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Mikes from Alice in Chains. Who's your favorite bassist, Ryley?
I'm gonna go. My favorite bass player is a guy named Joe Dart from Wolfpack is the band.
I've heard of
You should
Wolfpack
check them
before.
out if you haven't heard them.
I think you sent me their stuff.
Yeah,
before.
they're real good. He's a real he's got it sounds very like freestyle and very like loose, like he's not thinking about it, but it's very technical.
Nice.
And you can tell it's very planned out.
Yeah.
So he's my favorite bass player, but of course my favorite bass lines are Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of bass, I just want to throw it out there. I think the band is Beyond Creation. It's a speed metal band, and the bassist uses a fretless bass in that kind of a mix. If you ever get a chance to listen to it, he's a really, really crazy bass player. I don't even know his name. I don't know anything about the band other than that they're good to listen to. But that guy knows how to throw down a fretless bass line in a speed metal band every now and then.
Well, speaking of no bass, Mile 1 through 4 just released a Substack today, and it talks about our.
There's the plug.
There's the plug. No, but yeah. So Ryley asks, favorite bass player. Got anything else? Got another lightning round? Otherwise, we'll go around the room and.
Shit. I wasn't ready.
Not for a second.
So
lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
lightning round. So then we'll go to you. Then we'll call it.
What am I going to ask about?
I don't know. I'm just came up with this one.
Ask what our favorite deck of sports is.
Okay, I will.
So I asked Ryley this earlier, but favorite current band right now. Current meaning like who do you listen to right now? You get in your vehicle to go home. Who are you gonna turn on?
I've been listening to a lot of this band called Lake Street Dive.
I know that band.
Yeah, they're real good.
Yeah.
They're real good. They just added a keyboard player
Nice.
to their most recent album.
What is their
Really,
genre?
really takes it up a notch. You know, that's
Wasn't it like jazzy?
it can get kind of jazzy. It's kind of like indie rock a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of poppy also.
I know somebody sent me that band a while ago.
Kind of just reminds me of like Colorado vibes.
Okay.
I don't know. Just
Lake Street
imagine.
Drive.
Yeah, just like imagine a person who lives kind of close to the mountains in Colorado, but not in the mountains.
And this is just what plays in their head all
It's
the
just
time.
it's kind of what it sounds like.
Okay.
Good deal. Tris, who's yours? Favorite band.
I think I
current
know
band.
what your band is gonna
Oh
be.
yeah, but you tell me yours first.
Oh man.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
I mean, I got hooked on Sleep Token there for a while.
Oh, they're sick.
I think I'm jumping back into is it Leprous? Let me see if I can find the name of it really quick. Yeah, it is Leprous. Weird, like mix between rock and like hip hop. It's really fucking weird. And the singer is awesome. The drummer is really stylish. But I got hooked on them for a while again. But before that, it was Sleep Token, and
They're
just
awesome.
like they released they kept hitting me with just the tastiest stuff. They released like 3 singles in a row, another single, and then that was like unrelated, and then the album that has them all, but I haven't listened to it yet. But it's really good.
Tay Zonde.
Yeah. Chocolate Rain.
So, you think you know mine?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, my favorite.
Hold
band.
on, wait. Have him guess first.
Okay, my favorite band right now. Who is it?
It's Bad Omens.
Bad Omens.
Who is
This
this?
is the shit.
Explain how they sound.
Okay, they started as like a deathcore band, super heavy, and now they released an album. It was either this year or late last year, called "The Death of Peace of Mind." That whole album, fucking amazing. The lead singer actually, during COVID when they were quarantined, he used not instruments in his house to make noise, and that's how he came up with half of these songs. Songs are stupid simple, but it's the lead guitar parts and they've got some industrial noise shit that really adds to the vibe of the song. They're in that same boat with Sleep Token, but this guy went from being a straight deathcore singer, like the best gutturals ever, and now every time he sings a song, like I go on YouTube and just put a playlist of them on, and everybody's comments are like, it sounds like there's 3 people singing, because he can do highs, he's so fucking talented.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite band right now, and I continue to blast them.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They're
Bad
good.
Omens are so good.
That was the band where you saw the one music video and you were like, is he
you
on
said
roller
she.
skates? Yeah.
You're like,
Okay, this music video has a guy. How do I explain this? Dressed up as
Like a mummy of some sort.
like a mummy, but Like if
Oh,
you
yeah.
unwrapped a mummy almost,
yeah.
but in
It's
like a
dethroned.
realistic way, not in like a fun Scooby-Doo way.
That was dethroned.
And the guy's on roller skates
Yeah.
on top of that.
That's
So that does bring it back a little bit into like Hanna-Barbera territory, but
Damn. All
Oh,
right,
no.
so Ryley did favorite bass player. I did favorite current band. Tris, send us home with a lightning round.
Now you're putting me on the spot. I
so you should have went first.
know, right?
That's
Now
the
I gotta come
easiest
up with
one.
like the ultimatum question. That's like the deal.
Legit.
Oh, I mean, fuck.
Go ahead, ask me what my favorite note is.
Oh God.
This is not going on tape. Riley, what is your favorite note?
Or you asked this, so you have to put it out. No, that's the rules. You know,
Is that your legit ask?
no, it's not his legit ask. He's just buying time. You better be thinking what you're really
I
gonna
am.
ask now. But you know, I'm gonna go with C sharp.
Any particular reason why?
C sharp. So when you're playing in the key of E, it's the sixth chord, which is a common chord in the key of E.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of familiar with it.
Okay.
Kind of feels like, yeah, but
like
it's
home.
not. It's not the root of the. You know, E is real home.
Yeah. This is kind of like the end of the
C sharp
driveway.
minor. You know,
It's kind of the end of the
C-sharp note's
driveway.
kind of like okay, we're close, but
Yeah.
not quite. Not quite.
It's the end of the driveway.
It's kind of familiar, but it's not quite. You're not quite there.
It's the end of the driveway.
Yes, it's the end of the driveway, but you're not quite sure if you're. Are you back?
Are you in the right
or are
house
you
or
pulling
not?
in?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know.
my God.
Unsure.
That's why I'm gonna go C sharp.
All right.
Here's my real question for the lightning round. Do you, as part of the process of like all inclusive, whether it's gear setup, learning the songs, you know, playing and then going home, what do you prefer? Do you prefer recording? Do you prefer and putting out music that way? Do you prefer digital audiences and a stream, or do you prefer live audiences? So if you had a choice and you only had to do one of those for the rest of the time, this isn't, you know, obviously this isn't like the case where you don't have to just do that the rest of the time. But if you had a choice between doing one of these three things, and that's just recording music and producing music that way, live streaming or performing to a digital audience, or performing live forever, and you couldn't do the other ones anymore, what of those three would you choose?
I gotta go live audience.
Why?
You know, I actually like playing in front of a live audience the least, because it's the most uncomfortable and most dangerous in terms of I could really fuck this up right
Yep.
now. But I so enjoy having played in front of a live audience
It's like a performance high is
that
what
it
it
makes
is.
it worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's something to be said. I gotta piggyback. I mean, before shows, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this. Fuck, I don't want to do this. But then you do it, and especially when we're doing original shows and people are up there for you. They want to hear you. They paid money to come. It's like, this is fucking cool. But I gotta say, if I could only do one, it would be recording
Yeah.
and putting out music.
You're in your best there at that
It's
point
like,
in time.
yeah.
Is it
it's-
because of
that's-
the limitations of playing live, or?
It's everything other than playing that I don't enjoy.
Just the everything else,
sometimes.
yeah.
It's like the loading in. You know, this is shit that I'm being a
You can
picky
nitpick.
bitch right
Yeah,
now.
you can-
But I'm just saying, from having done it for when we started the band in 2015, we play a lot of shows. But from
Driving.
loading in, loading out, dealing with drunk people, me drinking too many beers, feeling like shit the next morning. It's like I wake up and I'm like, this isn't fucking worth it. It's great. You make money, you get exposure, but the part that makes my like soul feel good is recording shit and being like, I wrote that. That's what I want to do. I did that.
Yeah.
And that even
It's like a hard finished product. It's
Yeah,
like here's the thing I did. Tell me what you think.
That's what I did. And I that is one aspect of music I will do until the day I die. The playing live, the live streaming digitally. I don't know if that'll, be till I die, but I know music, recording, writing, will, in my own studio or whatever, that will be something I will not give up.
Yeah.
So it's everything but playing live that I don't enjoy. I not saying don't enjoy, but is not my favorite. It's like I said, the loading in, loading out,
Driving getting everything lined up the right way.
Trying to win the crowd over. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, dealing with drunk people, I don't really care if people don't like us because most of the time they just walk out. So they're not a problem.
Yeah, this is more nitpicky, and that's
And getting
that's
home
the nature of this
fucking
question.
late. Man,
yeah.
I'm old. It's like getting home at 1 a.m. Fuck, I gotta be up at 6. Why do you gotta be up at 6? Because it's Sunday. I gotta get up. So, that's mine. What do you got?
Honestly, it'd be a huge crossover because I like recording too. I like being able to hand somebody a finished product and saying, "Hey, this is like."
I just love the creative process.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not even that. There's no limitations in a studio. Live there's limitations because you can't. Between me and you, we can't like do everything we can in a studio versus live.
Oh,
just because that's just the nature of our show. I really like playing live because drums are so dynamic.
Yeah.
And you can really punctuate that dynamic when it's live, and like you're not. This might be mostly specific to drums because when you're playing drums in a studio or in a live stream setting, you're playing to microphones, right? And microphones are very, very fucking sensitive to everything drums. If you hit a drum too hard, you peak the mic, but the rest of it sounds fine. Just that initial hit is peaked. Anyways, long story short, when you're playing to people, it's really more of a feel than anything else. They can feel it more. So if you're playing the drums really well, people are feeling it more.
So what's your?
This is a huge digression.
No, I get it.
I know.
I get it. I feel the same way playing live.
I think playing live is really fun, but as far as like getting my music in the best way it could possibly be, I do like recording. That's a fucking hard question.
It is
Oh
hard.
my god. It's got to be live, just because live matters. Drums matter so much live to do them right, and if you don't do them right, it just tears down fucking everything if you don't know what you're doing. And I seem to make the most faces when I play live anyways,
Yeah.
so I'll use that.
because of the feel.
Yeah, I'll use that to gauge.
You just want to be felt.
There is nothing
Dude,
like.
We've known that since middle school. But
I just want somebody to hear me, man.
There's nothing like. When playing live, to my 1-3-4s, speaking for that. When somebody bangs their head, we're just even in sound check, we're giving them a dun, dun.
Right.
People are like, oh fuck. I mean that's cool. That's cool.
It's nice to kind of have that, and I mean cover shows are fine, but even when people are singing along to good covers, that's kind of nice too.
That's cool.
It's just like, oh yeah, we're all kind of here just enjoying music, but man, I really love having a nice finished product, and somebody will come back to me.
I love the creative process from the art of the album to everything.
But the middle ground in that is live streams where
I do like live streams. I like live streams. You
The
don't
wa-
leave your house and you fucking...
No. And especially the way we have it set up now, it basically, Ryley, we didn't explain this earlier. The live streams now run through Ableton, so it's like recording quality, except for it plays to the audience. And you can record that at the same time. So it's this ultimate middle ground between recording
It's cool.
and live, but you have to wear headphones, so it's uncool.
first off, as the man wearing the headphones right now, I have to disagree with that. It is cool. This won't make it to air, but I just want to point out that I had huge grievances with Tristan long ago, and him just setting up a couple of room mics to do the live stream. And I kept telling him, why don't you just use the out? You have everything all mixed. Why don't you just use the out and put that into the... Anyway, that's a physical combat we'll have outside of this podcast. But
Do you want to know the answer to that?
yeah,
Because the mixer we tried that, sending from the mixer out.
but did you try hard enough?
Yes, it is, because that mixer in particular doesn't have a channel split. This one does, surprisingly. But so you're just getting the main outs sent. But the problem is the way that
Hell yeah, rock and roll.
No. The way that basement that is every single channel though. That's the drums, that is the vocals, that is the guitar, all going through a single XLR.
Yeah.
That shit was explosive.
Hell yeah.
That is like Taco Bell on laxatives. Explosive. Shit yeah, he says.
I'll tell you what, Ryley. We got to schedule another live stream. All right?
Yeah.
I'll be there.
It's
Good
good.
deal.
I just
So-
got to get a headphone splitter.
We're going to wrap it up here. Ryley, thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
You bet.
this is a good time. This will not be the last time Ryley is on the Backline.
Me and my Uncle Rich, who I mentioned earlier, will be playing at Booby's Bar in Darlington on June 17th.
All right.
Come check us out.
Hopefully the episode will be out by then.
Hopefully.
No, sounds good. All righty.
You heard it. June 17th, Ryley's next live show. This has been the Backline Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Backline Podcast.